Welcome back, this is StudMuffin1986, and today I'm going to be doing a guide and review on how to play with the Tier 10 Leopard Light tank. This is personally one of my favorite tanks in the game. Very fast, very quick, laser accurate cannon, and can be very fun to play. However, it can also be very, very difficult to play, as this is a paper tank that has no armor. When we look at in the upper left hand corner, we see that this is a medium tank. The whole purpose of a medium tank is to spot and flank and report those enemy positions to your team so they know how to position themselves and then rain down fire upon the enemy. So that's the first thing. So now let's just go and look in the armor. When looking at the armor, we can see, just like I was saying, that this is a paper tank. You cannot be putting yourself in positions to be ever relying on your armor. You want to be relying on the landscape more, being able to pop up over hills, take a shot, roll back behind to get some cover, and so forth. This thing will easily be penetrated from just about any angle. I mean, you can see when this thing is angled as such, you might have enough armor to luckily bounce something, but it will be very, very difficult. Not enough to really, once again, ever be relying on your armor. So going in and looking at the gun depression, we can see that it has about -9, which really isn't too bad, being able to get you a pretty steep downward shot on some enemies below when you're pointing your cannon down. Looking at the stats once again, pretty paper tank, don't want to be relying on your armor very much. You will get penned fairly easily with this thing. And then looking at the engine power weight ratio, it's about 20.62, which is very nice, giving you really good acceleration. Has a great top speed of 65 kilometers an hour. Really good and very laser accurate cannon with a dispersion of 0.30 and aim time of 2 seconds. Great rate of fire of 8.57 with an alpha of 437. So this thing, yeah, just has a really, really good cannon. And then going in and looking at its consumables, if you're a credit conservative, I still highly recommend getting the multi-purpose restoration, the repair kit, and then also the engine boost, since I know the adrenaline can sometimes be a little expensive. Provisions are too expensive, I just don't use them. I would recommend at least packing 8 heat rounds for those shots when you're against tanks that just have a lot of armor and you don't quite have a shot. Recommend getting the gun rammer, the coated optics, and the binoculars, being you are a medium tank and your job is to spot and flank and just report those enemy positions, so that'll definitely help fulfill my role on the battlefield. So now let's just go into a game here. Now Himmelsdorf, very tricky for a tank like this. This is built a little bit more for heavy tanks, so being on it with a light tank, a little tricky. I'm going to try to get myself in a spotting position very fast. This Leopard, I'm not sure necessarily what he's doing, just sitting there, and after getting shot once he then finally decided to move, but quickly got myself into a spotting location, trying to detect the enemies. I can see, just using supremacy mode here, it gives me a little bit of a good idea of where the enemy is going, just being that they're capping some of the bases, going up here. Try to take a quick shot back up because I see that, ooh, yeah, almost just got hammered by that E4. But you can see I got very, very lucky bouncing a destroyer's round off my turret when backing up at that very steep angle. I didn't quite see him and see that he was aiming at me until it was almost a little late. So I mean, you're just going to be able to see the accuracy of this thing. Just get a shot just through that window, however, not quite able to penetrate. So I'm going to switch to a heat round, see if I've got enough penetration. Still don't have enough, but you can see that it's just perfectly going straight through that window. This is probably one of my favorite things about the Leopard, is just how accurate its cannon is. Just laser accurate. It can be so much fun to use. However, a lot of players struggle with this tank, just being it really doesn't have a whole lot of armor. So to be good with this tank, you got to be very, very situationally aware. You can't be in situations to be brawling with other tanks, armor versus armor. You've got to be very smart on how you go about and approach your enemies. Most likely try to get them from the sides, the rear, and just hammer them with those rounds. See, I was right here, just able to go in and just drill some rounds into the enemy. I'm not having to utilize my armor or anything. Right now the enemy's distracted, focusing on my friend right there, and so yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and just continue, just take shots a little bit from a distance here. And even if he were to turn and point his cannon right at me, I could easily just pull back and get myself into cover, which is another thing you want to do with the Leopard, is you want to make sure you're able to get yourself into positions where you can get cover quickly. Also, keeping your distance with a tank like this is also very helpful. With that laser accurate cannon, you are going to be, dang it, I hate that when that happens, just happen to hit that dead tank's cannon instead of actually hitting the enemy. But anyway, this thing's got a laser accurate cannon. Most tanks' cannons are not as accurate as the Leopard's, and so playing at a distance from enemy tanks will definitely give you the advantage, because you can quickly get shots off them. And whereas other enemy tanks' aim time or accuracy is not as accurate, if you're trying to shoot from a distance, it makes it a bit harder for the enemy. So distance will be a really good thing to utilize with the Leopard. So being a little careful. This tank does have the capability of ammo racking me, and so just gonna try to get a shot off here. I wasn't really paying attention to how many points we had with supremacy mode, so I thought I had enough time to trick him one more time, but I didn't. Game ends. So good game, and you can see I don't even think I took a single shot in that game. I was keeping my distance, helping my teammates as much as I possibly could, being very sneaky, once again utilizing my distance, and then just approaching the sides and rears of the enemies and just taking shots on them as much as possible. So just going into another game here, Port Bay, just as another example. So once again, as part of my job, I need to quickly get to a spotting location as fast as possible. Gonna stop, use my binoculars. Okay, I just got nailed. You see that there's a Leopard on their team that's just camping up on the hill. But you can just see the effectiveness of using your binoculars when you do have them. Gives you so much more view range. Was able to detect most of the enemies on their team. So now my team is able to close in around them and hopefully just get some shots off them. And if the enemy's got their cannons mainly just focused on you, just waiting to pop out, just let them wait on you a little bit. Don't try to poke once again, boom, just beautiful accuracy with this cannon. But going back to what I was saying, with enemies pointing their cannons at you, just let them waste their time aiming at you while you're taking cover, and let your teammates just close in around you. Playing as a light or a medium tank, you just don't realize, or players just sometimes don't realize, how important your role is in terms of spotting and flanking. I promise you, if you have one team that's just all camping and another team that's actually doing their job and fulfilling their role, the team that always knows how to fulfill their role will always win against the team that's just always camping and sitting back behind like this team was doing. The Leopard didn't go up and spot. He basically just went up and camped up on the hill. I detected most of them, and it was able to give me and their whole team eyes, and they probably only got eyes on me, so they were able to take a lot more hits. So I'm trying to protect myself a little bit more. I see that I've still got some of these cannons, that Leopard pointing at me. little lower on health, so just trying to play a little bit more conservative here. Can't take a lot of hits and can't really remember where that FV was. Okay, so he's down there. Beautiful. Don't want to get hit by that thing because he will kill me, or could kill me in one hit. But I just love the maneuverability of this tank. You really have to use your maneuverability and not rely on your armor at all with this tank. I mean, I wasn't even able to bounce really any rounds in this game. I mean, even though I was at a distance trying to protect myself as much as possible, I was still taking shots. And so yeah, you just got to be very situationally aware and very careful with this type of tank. So another good game. Once again, got to the spotting location as fast as possible, which is very key with playing with a lighter medium tank, and was really able to give my team eyes so they can just rain down fire upon the enemy. So going into another example here, looks like we're going to go into dead rail. I'm going to get myself in a spotting position as fast as possible to try to give myself eyes on the team, but trying to be careful. Just not sure what happened there. I don't know if I bounced off that Leopard or what right when he got in front of me, but guy got lucky, didn't get penned. So just trying to be careful. I know they've got a destroyer on their team. Just letting myself roll back, get myself hidden, get cloaked again, so I'm not detected, and then roll back, maybe stay there just for a little bit, use my binoculars, see if I could spot their tank destroyer. Keeping myself very situationally aware, looking to the right and left, because I want to make sure that I'm not going to get popped from the side from not necessarily paying attention. Once here, I'm just using my binoculars, see if I can detect their tank destroyer, not moving up and being very aggressive, just, whoa, okay, yeah, not necessarily sure where that guy came out of. But, you know, one of the, you know, big reasons on why you want to be situationally aware with this tank. So, got a little lucky there. I'm just going to roll back. Don't want to be just completely out in the open. Using this hill right here, I'm just going to try pounding these tanks as fast as I can. I'm going to focus on the E100 first since he's the weakest. And then we're just going to go ahead and just take care of this Leopard here. Alright, I really do just love this tank. It is just such a beautiful tank. One of my favorite tier 10s in the game, to be honest with you. Very hated tank, I think, by a lot of players. But if you really know how to use this tank, it could just be so good. So just tried tricking the enemy there. He shot, was able to back up and just in time, and he only hit the ground. So just going in and just finishing up the enemies here. I don't necessarily know what I was thinking here. I really wasn't thinking. I thought by backing up I would be able to get enough protection behind the Jag Tiger, but I didn't, and luckily I ended up somehow, either he missed or I deflected the shot. I have no idea what happened there, but I got extremely lucky I didn't get pounded by that OBJ. So another good game. I hope this guide was able to help with you playing the Leopard. This is Studmuffin 1986, and thanks for watching.